At some point in your life, you were taught to care too much, to feel deeply, to react instantly, to take everything personally. You weren't born like this. You learned it, and that was your first mistake. Because every betrayal that hurt you, every insult that stayed in your mind, every moment that made you feel weak, came from this one flaw. You allowed the outside world to control your inner world. Most people live like this, constantly reacting, constantly affected, constantly controlled by things they don't even understand. A single message changes their mood. A look changes their confidence. A rejection destroys their identity. They don't control themselves. They are controlled. But Niccolo Machiavelli saw the world differently. He didn't react. He observed from a distance, like a strategist watching a battlefield or a surgeon analyzing a disease. No emotion, no attachment, only precision. And what he understood is something most people will never accept. People are not loyal to you. They are loyal to their needs. They don't stay because they care. They stay because you provide something: attention, validation, comfort, status, opportunity. And the moment that disappears, so do they. That's why you suffer, because you believe in something that doesn't exist. Unconditional loyalty, permanent care, stable human behavior. But humans are not stable. They change, they adapt, they calculate. And when you don't understand this, you take everything personally. You think, they hurt me, they disrespected me, they betrayed me. But most of the time, it was never about you. It was about advantage. If someone insults you, they gain status. If someone ignores you, they gain control. If someone lies to you, the truth didn't serve them. And every time you react emotionally, you lose. Because reaction is exposure, and exposure is weakness. The moment someone sees what affects you, they know how to control you. Your anger becomes a button. Your sadness becomes a tool. Your insecurity becomes a weapon. This is how manipulation works. Not through force, but through emotion. And this is why you must change. You must become untouchable. Not by becoming cold, but by becoming controlled. You don't need to stop feeling. You need to stop reacting. There is a difference, a powerful one. Weak people feel and express immediately. Strong people feel and decide. They pause, they observe, they calculate, they choose. And that pause is power. Because in that moment, you are no longer a slave to emotion. You become the one in control. In the next part, you'll understand why trust is the most dangerous illusion and how people really see you. If someone ignores you and you feel anxious, you've already lost, because now they control your mind. You check your phone again. You start thinking, what did I do wrong? Why are they acting like this? And without realizing it, you gave them power. Most manipulation doesn't look like manipulation. It looks like silence, distance, confusion. Someone takes longer to reply on purpose. Someone acts cold out of nowhere. Someone disappears and comes back like nothing happened. And you think it's random. It's not. Niccolo Machiavelli understood something dangerous. Control doesn't come from force. It comes from reaction. The moment they control how you feel, they control how you behave. If they make you anxious, you chase. If they make you insecure, you try to prove yourself. If they make you feel ignored, you give more attention. That's exactly what they want. Think about it. When someone pulls away and you move closer, who has the power? Not you. Most people get played, not because they are stupid, but because they are emotional. They react instead of observing. They chase instead of stepping back. They explain instead of staying silent. And every time they do that, they lose position. Not everything deserves a reaction. Sometimes the most powerful move is doing nothing. When someone tries to provoke you and you stay calm, you break the pattern. And when you break the pattern, you take the power back. But most people can't do this. They need to reply. They need to explain. They need to be understood. And that need is weakness. Because the more you need to be understood, the easier you are to control. Niccolo Machiavelli would never chase clarity. He would observe behavior, because behavior always reveals the truth. Stop asking what people feel about you. Start watching what they do with you. Do they disappear when it's convenient? Do they come back only when they need something? Do they give just enough attention to keep you there? That's not connection, that's control. If you see it and refuse to react, everything changes. You become unpredictable, and people fear what they can't predict. You don't win by reacting better. You win by reacting less. You don't win by explaining yourself. You win by becoming unreadable. And once you reach that level, people stop trying to control you, because they can't. In the final part, you'll learn how to build real emotional control and become untouchable. If you want to become untouchable, you need to understand one thing. Control starts with you. Most people try to control others, situations, outcomes, but they fail because they can't control their own emotions, and that is where weakness begins. Machiavelli knew that anyone who can't control their emotions can't have real power, because emotion is exposure. If someone can trigger your anger, they control your reaction. If someone can reach your sadness, they control your state. If someone can touch your insecurity, they control your decisions. That is not strength, that is dependence. Real power begins when you stop reacting automatically, when you feel something and choose what to do with it, when you are insulted and stay calm, when you are ignored and don't chase. That is control. Most people can't do this. They need to react, to explain, to release what they feel. But when you stop, everything changes. You become harder to read, harder to predict, harder to control. Not cold, controlled. There is a difference. You don't need to stop feeling. You need to stop showing everything. Speak less, reveal less, react less. Because the more you reveal, the easier it is to control you. Mystery creates distance. Distance creates respect, and respect creates power. Strong people are often quiet. They observe while others react. If you want that level, you need discipline. Notice what affects you. Notice who can change your mood. Then remove that power from them. When someone provokes you, stay still. When someone expects a reaction, give nothing. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control, and control is power. When you reach this point, you stop needing approval. You stop fearing rejection. You stop depending on others. You become independent, untouchable, because no one can control what does not react. If you see this clearly, subscribe to the Ruthless Mind. Most people will never understand this, and that's why they remained controlled.